these entrepreneurial capitalists, this is what they're doing. I mean, they're building vast wealth downstream for their children. It's probably, sort of like the invention of very large and stable sailing vessels. Whenever that happened, 200 or 100, 250 years ago, where suddenly a whole bunch of people realized, all we need is some money, not too much money. If we buy a ship and send it out to Indonesia and bring back a load of nutmeg, our children's children's children will never work again. We need one load of this shit. And they have to work, of course, and then they get a certain lifestyle and a certain amount of social respect out of it. But I think what they really get out of it is the satisfaction of knowing that they've secured for their heirs a comfortable existence unto the 9th generation or something.
Well, it's interesting about that because that ties in with the genetics. If you buy into some evolutionary psychology, certainly at this stage of the game, one of the forms that would take is not merely like the logic that guides how you choose a mate, and the fact that your status and money might, if you're a male, bring you a foxier, younger babe than the schmo who's, shoveling shit. That one form that would take would, of course, be to maintain your genetic line in as, great a situation as possible.
Well, and now people understand that this is what your genetic line is about, that to cope or to be in a Darwinian position of competition in this society means to have money, and not a little, not sufficient, but plenty, so that when you need to arrive and be met by Rolls-Royce limousines or whatever, that it's not an issue, and this all comes down.
But do you see that there's also a kind of madness to that?
Yeah, I'm not motivated. I mean, as you see, I need a place to keep some books dry. Having achieved that, my motivation falls to pieces, and it's all right, what else do we need to keep dry? Some firewood, okay, a truck, okay, that's about as far as I can go.
The way that technology, that the internet would allow you to build a different kind of career, because you don't like traveling, and what are you working towards?
Well, essentially the philosopher's stone without any dross. In other words, everything I require of the alchemical quintessence the internet provides, except physicality, which I didn't require. So that's what I meant. I think I said to you yesterday or the day before that at times these technological developments have taken place that seem to me designed uniquely for my own satisfaction. Sputnik couldn't have worked better for me. Acid, rock and roll, small computers, large computers, the internet. So in my internal story about what's supposed to happen, everything is happening right on time, right on schedule. I mean, this is the thing, that if you believe knowledge is power, which I certainly do, then the internet is the dispensation. The angels have landed, the aliens have unfurled their banner on this planet, and now let's see if information can liberate. That's why I don't want to do something stupid like die and miss the whole unfoldment of this proposition that knowledge is power, information will liberate, and it will be settled in the next 10 or 15 years. Either they'll get a handle on it, whoever they are, whatever a handle means, or it will slip from their control, and it will be clear that some kind of dialogue is now going on between individual human beings and the sum total of human knowledge, and that nothing can stop it, that some kind of renaissance, some kind of total new relationship to knowledge and possibility is put in place.
The idea you had about, and I've heard you mention before, about somehow taking advantage of the net to allow you to continue your career without having to move around so much. I mean, that seems to be one of the real weird paradoxes of the scene we're in, is that at the same time as we're creating all of these great communicating devices, that people are flying around to conferences, to talks, even more than they ever have before.
Yeah, well, I don't really understand that. I mean, like this morning I was looking at the brain tumor list. Well, fully 1/3 of the brain tumor list is people planning get-togethers at the next brain tumor conference. Will you be going to Atlanta? Will you be going to Vermont? Are you going to London? So no matter whether you're in investment counseling or dying of cancer, you can turn it into a circuit, a life, a phenomenon of some sort. I'm not very interested in that.
Well, you've done a circuit for a long time.
I have, and I feel like I paid my dues, and I feel like you have to be visibly at some of these things because you're marketed as a personality. And you know, I am not William Burroughs, nor was meant to be, but I am interested enough in being read that I'm willing to sign books and stand up and tell stories.
I'm interested a little bit of how you use the net. Like you say you spend maybe 4 hours a day doing email, but then also surfing.
Well, basically as an informational resource, an oracle, and sometimes even almost like a magical oracle. I mean, words will come to me, and so I'll search them and just follow the stuff where'er it leads. So I don't know, there's some term for that, I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it's like a
term for what? That style of...
Yeah, surrealists, I guess automatic writing, except this is automatic
searching,
inquiry or something like that, where you just cast bread upon the waters and see what comes back, you know.
Do you ever have the sense of, as you develop that kind of relationship to it, that it becomes more alive?
Well, it becomes more synchronistic in the way that, you know, people have said the I Ching seems eerily alive because it anticipates and it seems to respond like a thinking thing. So in that sense, it doesn't become so much more alive as it becomes more intelligent. So maybe really the key to bringing the net through is to discover universal grammars that cause it to appear alive. The technology and everything else is constantly redefining the center. You can't go forward and you can't stand still. Thunder don't get you, then the lightning will.